You think you are large because the world feels close to your skin, because your hands can hold things, because your thoughts seem to fill the room when you are alone. You think you are large because pain feels immediate, because love feels overwhelming, because the present moment presses against you with weight and urgency. And so, without ever deciding to, you begin to believe that you occupy the center of things. This is not arrogance. It is a survival instinct. The mind evolved to place itself at the focal point of experience. Every sound arrives to you. Every color is framed by your eyes. Every memory is stored in a brain barely larger than a grapefruit, yet capable of imagining infinity. From the inside, it feels like everything is happening to you, for you, around you. And slowly, subtly, the universe shrinks to the size of your concerns. But there is another way to look. Imagine, for a moment, that you are not inside your body, but hovering far above it. You see yourself sitting somewhere on Earth, perhaps unaware that you are being observed. The planet beneath you is already enormous. Oceans curve gently along its surface. Clouds swirl in slow, indifferent spirals. The continents do not know your name. The mountains have never heard your thoughts. The earth carries you the way it carries everything else, without preference, without judgment, without pause. And yet even now you are still not seeing the full picture. Pull back further. The earth becomes smaller. The moon drifts nearby, a quiet companion locked in an ancient gravitational dance. Together they circle a star, not a particularly remarkable one. A yellow dwarf, modest in size, one among hundreds of billions in the Milky Way galaxy. From this distance, the Earth is no longer a world. It is a point, a pixel, a faint blue suggestion of atmosphere clinging to rock. And still, this is not far enough. The sun itself becomes one star among many, embedded in a spiral arm of a galaxy so vast that light, traveling at its maximum speed, would take over 100,000 years to cross it. Every star you see in the night sky is only a tiny local sample. Most of the galaxy is hidden behind dust, distance, and time. Around many of those stars are planets. Around some of those planets, perhaps, are beings who also believe they are large. Now step back again. The Milky Way is no longer dominant. It is one galaxy in a local group, drifting through space alongside others, bound by gravity but separated by unimaginable emptiness. Beyond them are clusters. Beyond clusters are filaments, great cosmic structures stretching across the observable universe like veins of light, tracing patterns formed shortly after the beginning of time. At this scale, there is no up or down, no center you can point to and say, that is where everything happens. The universe does not revolve, it expands, it does not focus, it disperses. And somewhere in one ordinary galaxy, around one unremarkable star, on a small rocky planet, a human being is wondering whether they matter. Here is where the confusion begins. When people say you are small, they often mean insignificant, as if size alone determines value. As if meaning were something assigned by volume or mass or duration. But the universe does not work that way. The universe does not measure worth. It does not distribute importance. It does not keep a ledger of who mattered most. The universe simply is. And within it, you are smaller than you think. Not because you are nothing, but because you are not what your intuition tells you you are. Your body feels solid, but it is mostly empty space. Atoms are vast fields of probability, not tiny billiard balls packed together. The electrons that define the boundaries of your skin are not really there in the way you imagine. They are patterns, tendencies, mathematical descriptions of where something might be. If the empty space inside your atoms were removed, your entire body could be compressed to a size smaller than a grain of sand. Yet you feel substantial. Your lifetime feels long when you are inside it. Childhood stretches endlessly forward. Waiting for something can feel unbearable. Loss can feel permanent. But compared to the age of the universe, your entire existence is a brief chemical flicker. If the history of the cosmos were compressed into a single calendar year, all of recorded human history would occupy only the last few seconds before midnight on December 31st. Everything you have ever known, loved, feared, or fought over happens in a moment so brief it is almost not there at all. And yet you feel enduring. This is the paradox. You are exquisitely insignificant in scale and profoundly unique in experience. You are not the center of the universe, but the universe is happening through you. Consider what it took for you to exist, not just biologically, but cosmically. Every atom heavier than hydrogen in your body was forged in the core of a star that lived and died billions of years before you were born. The calcium in your bones, the iron in your blood, the carbon in your thoughts, all of it was created under pressures and temperatures so extreme that they make the interior of Earth seem gentle by comparison. Stars lived, burned, collapsed, and exploded so that you could have a skeleton, so that your heart could carry oxygen, so that your neurons could fire and ask questions about meaning. You are not separate from the universe. You are one of its expressions. And yet, even knowing this, the ego resists. It wants to be important. It wants to be central. It wants reassurance that its struggles are noticed by something larger. This desire is understandable. Consciousness is lonely. Self-awareness comes with a sense of vulnerability. To know that you exist is to know that you can stop existing. And so, the mind searches for significance the way roots search for water. But significance does not come from size. If it did, mountains would be wiser than humans. Galaxies would be kinder. Black holes would be moral authorities. Instead, meaning seems to emerge in small, fragile places, in nervous systems capable of reflection, in minds that can contemplate their own origins, in beings who can look at the stars and feel both awe and humility at the same time. You are small enough to be overlooked by the universe, but large enough to ask what the universe is. That is not nothing. Think about how easily you could have not existed. A slight change in physical constants, a different outcome in an ancient cosmic event, a minor interruption in your ancestral line. Any one of these, and you would not be here. The universe would continue, indifferent, expansive, unbothered. And yet, against staggering odds, you are conscious, you are aware, you are here, listening to this thought unfold. Not because the universe needed you, but because the universe allows you. And that distinction matters. When you feel overwhelmed by your problems, it can be comforting to remember how small they are in the cosmic context. But there is another side to this realization that is often missed. Your problems feel large because, to you, they are. Scale does not erase experience. Pain does not become less painful because a galaxy exists somewhere beyond your sight. Love does not become less meaningful because it is temporary. The universe does not invalidate your feelings. It contextualizes them. To understand how small you are is not to diminish yourself, but to release yourself from false expectations. You are not required to be monumental. You are not obligated to leave a permanent mark on cosmic history. You do not have to matter to everything in order to matter to something. A single thought can change a life. A single act of kindness can alter the trajectory of another human being. These are small events, invisible on a cosmic scale, yet enormous within the narrow band of experience where meaning actually lives. The universe is vast, but it is also silent. It does not speak. It does not tell you what to do. It does not whisper instructions about purpose or destiny. If meaning exists, it emerges locally, temporarily, in conscious systems like yours. That makes meaning fragile, but it also makes it precious. When you realize how small you are, something curious can happen. The pressure to be extraordinary begins to fade. The fear of not being enough loses some of its grip. You start to see that you are not a cosmic project that must be completed. You are a moment, a perspective, a way for the universe to look at itself from one particular angle. And no other angle will ever be exactly the same. Your thoughts have never existed before. Your combination of memories, perceptions, and interpretations is unprecedented and unrepeatable. Even if another being were born with the same genetic code, they would not live your life, see through your eyes, or feel time the way you do. You are a statistical anomaly of staggering proportions, even if you occupy almost no space at all. Small does not mean replaceable. It means temporary. And temporariness is not a flaw. It is a feature. Stars are temporary. Galaxies are temporary. Even the universe itself may not last forever in its current form. Change is the rule, not the exception. Permanence is the illusion. The fact that you will end does not strip your existence of value. It gives it urgency. It sharpens it. It makes each moment irreducible. When you understand that you are smaller than you think, you may begin to listen differently, to argue less loudly, to cling less tightly to certainty, to notice that many of the things you defend so fiercely are interpretations, not truths. Stories told by a nervous system trying to orient itself in a reality too large to fully grasp. Humility is not humiliation. It is clarity. It is the quiet recognition that you do not have to carry the universe on your shoulders, that you do not have to resolve every question, that it is acceptable to live without final answers. The cosmos has existed for billions of years without your understanding, and it will continue without your conclusions. Your task is smaller, and perhaps more beautiful, to pay attention, to wonder, to care even when caring seems insignificant, to find calm in the knowledge that your existence does not need cosmic justification. You are not here to conquer the universe. You are here to witness it briefly. And in that witnessing, something remarkable occurs. The universe, through you, becomes aware of itself. Not in a grand, centralized way, but in countless small sparks of consciousness scattered across time and space. Each one fragile, each one fleeting, each one seeing the same vast reality from a different point of view. You are one of those sparks, not the brightest, not the largest, not the most enduring, but real. And perhaps that is enough. When this thought settles in, the night sky changes. The stars no longer feel like distant decorations. They feel like ancestors. The darkness between them no longer feels empty. It feels spacious. The silence no longer feels indifferent. It feels patient. And you, standing beneath it all, are smaller than you thought. But somehow, also freer. Because when you stop trying to be the center of the universe, you can finally take your place within it.